Let us discuss about propofol. Propofol. Propofol, it is milky white in color. It is milky white in color. Chemically, it is diisopropyl phenol. It is chemically diisopropyl phenol. It has some additives. That means, along with the drugs, there are certain other chemicals added with these, with propofol, along with propofol. These are remembered by name by mnemonic EGS. EGS means E means eggless thin. G means glycerol. S means soybean oil. These are all emulsifying agents. Okay. There are 3 additives added along with propofol. They are eggless thin, glycerol, and soybean oil. This is the single best agent for daycare surgery. This is the single best agent for daycare surgery because it has rapid metabolism. The reason why it is the best agent for daycare surgery is because it has got rapid metabolism, and there will be no residual effect. So because of these 2 reasons, this is the best agent for daycare surgery, and it inhibits chemo trigger zone center and prevents nausea and vomiting. It inhibits chemo trigger zone CTZ center and prevents nausea and vomiting. Hence, it decreases the incidence of post-operative nausea and vomiting. As it is inhibiting CTZ center, it prevents or decreases the incidence of post-operative nausea and vomiting. Decreases the incidence of post-operative nausea and vomiting. Hence, it has got pleasant recovery. Pleasant recovery is because it has got no nausea and vomiting. And one more is this propofol. It is a euphoric drug. Hence, there will be pleasant recovery. Let us see the effects on CNS. There will be on CNS. There will be decreased intracranial pressure. There will be decreased ICD. Okay. Hence, it is a cerebroprotective. Okay, because there is decreased ICD, decreased CBF, and hence it is a cerebroprotective, and there will be less ECG changes also. EEG changes. And CVS, it has got peripheral vasodilation. Peripheral vasodilatory effect, and it decreases BP. It decreases heart rate. So it it decreases BP, and it has got peripheral vasodilatation and decreases heart rate. Hence it is contraindicated in shock. Hence contraindicated in shock because it has got some adverse effects on cardiovascular system and respiratory system. It has got respiratory center depressive action. Respiratory center depressive action. And it causes hypoxia, hypercapnia. It also causes bronchodilation. It causes hypoxic pulmonary vasoconstriction. Hypoxic pulmonary vasoconstriction. This pulmonary vasoconstriction will be maintained. It maintains hypoxic pulmonary vasoconstriction. Okay. Anyway, when there is hypoxia, definitely there will be vasoconstriction in pulmonary circulation, whereas there will be vasodilation in peripheral vasculature. This propofol, it maintains the hypoxia induced pulmonary vasoconstriction. Okay. And upper airway reflexes will be inhibited. Upper airway reflexes will be inhibited. Upper airway reflexes are inhibited. Hence, it is used for endoscopy. As upper airway reflexes are inhibited, it is used for endoscopy. Then moving to hepatorenal. 80% of metabolism will takes place in liver and kidney, and remaining 20% of metabolism will takes place in extrahepatic and extrarenal tissues. Will takes place in extrahepatic and extrarenal tissues. And metabolism will never be delayed. Remember this. Metabolism will never be delayed because you see, when there is problem in kidney or in liver, then this 80% metabolism will be done by the peripheral tissue. Okay, so metabolism will never be delayed. This propofol is the anesthetic agent of choice for both induction and maintenance. It is used for daycare surgery. As I already told you that propofol is the best choice for daycare surgery, and it can be used for neurosurgery. It can be used for thoracic surgery, endoscopy. It can be used for endoscopy. As I already told you, the reason why we use propofol in endoscopy, because propofol, it inhibits upper airway reflexes, hence it can be used for endoscopy. It can be used even when there are pre-existing liver and kidney dysfunction, because you see, I told you that 80% of metabolism will take place in liver and kidney, and the remaining 20% of metabolism will take place in peripheral tissues. When there are any diseases of liver and kidney, this 80% metabolism will be done by the peripheral tissue. So hence we can use in pre-existing liver and kidney diseases. So we can use when there are pre-existing liver and kidney dysfunction. Kidney dysfunction. We can use for malignant hyperthermia. Malignant hyperthermia. We can use in porphyria as well. Porphyria. It can be used for inducing sedation also. Can be used for inducing sedation also. I already told you this propofol. It inhibits CTZ region, right? So it can be used as antiemetic also. It can be used as antiemetic. It can also be used as antipruritic. These are the uh, uses of propofol. Then moving to side effects. Side effects. Side effects is the first one is local pain and IV injection. And to decrease this pain, we give lignocaine. We add lignocaine to propofol to decrease the local pain and IV injection. Second is, there is a syndrome called propofol infusion syndrome. Propofol infusion syndrome. If you use propofol for more than 48 hours, a metabolite is produced. This metabolite, it inhibits mitochondrial enzymes, and this results in increased lactic acid. Okay, in propofol syndrome, what happens is, when we use propofol for greater than 48 hours, greater than 48 hours, a metabolite is formed. A metabolite of propofol is formed. This metabolite, it inhibits mitochondrial enzymes. It inhibits mitochondrial enzymes. Due to this inhibition, there will be formation of lactic acid. Okay, this is about propofol infusion syndrome, and this is something about propofol.